Hello everyone. This is part 4 of our mob index and we are in Upper Hills to start. Our first new enemy is the club-wielding demon. Now I thought I had already covered this mob in a previous part, but it turns out I haven't, so here we are. This little demon is nothing special, inflicting no condition when it hits you and only having one basic attack. It isn't particularly strong either, and so you should deal with it pretty quickly and easily. The next enemy found in Upper Hills is much more dangerous. I've named it an axe-wielding demon, and it's another mob I thought I had already covered. If it looks weirdly familiar to you, that is because it is also the NPC for the special shop in El Mort. This demon inflicts bleed every time it hits you with the axe and also knocks you back. It does a decent amount of damage, and its longer health bar also indicates a decent amount of health as well. While this demon is definitely stronger than our previous one, it isn't the strongest enemy found in Upper Hills. That's because it's in Upper Hills that you first meet the Wizard, another enemy that is probably in my top 5, let alone top 10, most hated enemies in Darkrise. By the way, shout out to Hario, as the name was another one of his suggestions. The Wizard is easily the strongest mage-type mob in Darkrise, boasting attacks like Water Push, Ball Lightning, Magma Burst, and more. These attacks can inflict burn, stun, and reduced mobility. The Wizard also has Heal Wave, so if you take too long to kill it, it will start healing itself and any other enemy around you. The Wizard has the ability to completely destroy you, especially if you have no control resistance and lower health, as it will just spam until you die. Approach with caution, and try and target it from further away if you can. If you have high control resistance, this also negates the Wizard's main strength of stun. The next area we move into is Mayor's Farm, and the first enemy here is the strange creature. Why did I call it this? Because the developers literally call it a strange creature in one of the quests. I don't blame them either, as I have no idea what I would have called it. This thing doesn't actually do anything on its own. Instead, it spawns miniature copies of itself, like its children, who do the attacking for it. It can do this because the creature also has a decent amount of health, which allows it to spawn several copies of itself before you eventually kill it. The little copies attack by rushing at you, though they don't inflict stun. Then they act like small slimes and are very easily killed. A very weird enemy indeed. We don't stay in Mayor's Farm for long, as we quickly move into Snowy Fields. I like this area a lot because it has a large amount of new enemies you won't have encountered previously in the game. One example is the Green Archer, who is another enemy I absolutely hate, as it has one-shot me numerous times in Fatal Bridge. What makes this archer so dangerous is the skills it has. If you watched part 3, you would have seen the Master Archer, which had base shot, multi-shot, and barrage. This archer also has base shot, but more importantly, has explosive arrow and toxic arrow. The Green Archer first uses toxic arrow, which inflicts poison on you, which deals a decent amount of damage over a long period of time and can only be removed with rank 5 or higher Heal Wave. The poison can sometimes be enough to end you on its own. The archer then uses explosive arrow. Explosive arrow does a really high amount of damage, even higher if you meet the enemy on fatal difficulty, and also stuns you. And, to top it all off, the Green Archer also has surprisingly good health for an archer type. Just an all-round menace. The Green Archer isn't the only archer in Snowy Fields. No. There is another archer, which I call the Snowy Archer, that exists here too. However, unlike the Green Archer, this archer is really weak. It shoots arrows like any other archer would, but that is it. Nothing special here, and really easy to kill. Another weak enemy in Snowy Fields is the Snowy Spearman. This guy will jab you with his spear and also hit you with it. No conditions, and pretty average health. No real threat. The final weakling in Snowy Fields is the Snowy Warrior. He has a shield to protect him, but I wouldn't blame you if you forget sometimes, because he is very easy to kill. Damage is also minimal, so don't expect to need Heal Wave here. These next two enemies are more like the green archer in terms of threat and ability. Let's start with the green spearman. Just like the snowy spearman, this guy hits and stabs you with his spear. Unlike the snowy spearman, this more elite version inflicts bleed, stun, and will knock you back. Try running away. This guy does this little roll maneuver to try and catch up with you. Finally, this guy also has decent health, so you may be battling this guy for a while. The other enemy I was talking about is the snowy rogue. Although I think this enemy is less of a problem compared to the green archer and green spearman, his ability still makes him stronger than the weaker snowy field mobs. This enemy shares the roll maneuver with the green spearman. However, this rogue can also lunge at you, inflicting stun in the process. Once again, this guy also has a decent amount of health as well. The last area we are moving into is Golems Valley, and that means we have to talk about golems again. Now, the golems here are actually pretty much the same as the Golden Golem in Part 2. There is no difference apart from color.